Hello, happy Saturday, guys. Let's get this going. Oh, good, it did show up right. Marcus announcement. Hopefully I can see your comments. Sorry, I'm just doing all my side work here. Okay. So far, let's see. We're good to go on there. Can someone say something so I can see if I can see your comments, even if you just type hi. Right now, I'm just showing people joining, so I'm not 100% positive I can see comments, which doesn't matter a ton. Okay, we've got somebody. Yeah, I have a feeling. Well, or maybe you guys just aren't commenting. Can someone type hi or type hello? Please. Thank you. Anybody? There's 32 of you, 34. So, I'm not sure I'm getting anything here. Anyway, I mean, that would just make sense, right? That everything's a mess. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going. Hi guys, hi. So sip and draw, I still haven't seen a single comment, so, but I'm not seeing them on the computer either. So I'm just guessing no one's commenting. Everyone's being very quiet tonight. It's a little different than a typical sip and draw, I suppose. We aren't going to do a drinking word. We're not going to have trivia. I thought about having trivia, but no. We're just going to draw and appreciate the legacy that is Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So I know for some, drawing people is a little tricky. It even is for me. I'm going to be honest. I don't love to draw people. Well, I kind of have fun with it, but I don't love it. It's not like my specialty by any means. And I don't, I definitely teaching people is weird. Yeah, this is so weird. There's like no comments on the computer, no comments on here. So I can't see you guys at all if you're commenting. So it's going to be, we're having a moment of silence in sip and draw, apparently. So we're going to draw this in pencil first, and then we will outline it in pen. And then we will color it in. I know you guys have only seen an uncolored version, but we will color this in. So how about we just get started? I'm going to give, let's see, I'm going to give just a couple more minutes, let people find the video. We're not even 5 minutes past 8 yet. Trying to think of what announcements I have. Next Saturday, there's another sip and draw. So, you're getting a bonus one this month. I started only doing them on the first and third Saturday of the month, but you get a bonus one next week. We've partnered up with a local coffee company called Luchador, and you can order coffee with a discount. They'll deliver it to your house. There's a link on the event for that and the information. So that's really the only announcements I have. And then, God, I feel like my head is itching. And then just stay tuned that like those last couple days of September, I'll be making announcements of how you join the Patreon if that's something that you want to do. So I definitely have no access to comments tonight. I'm not seeing them here on this, and I'm not seeing them either in on the website. I have this video going in both places, and I'm just not seeing them either place. So don't speak to me because I won't reply. Again, maybe this is like poignant. Maybe this is supposed to be this way. I just hope you guys can see me. Oh my gosh, if somebody is my friend on Facebook and you're not seeing and or not hearing me correctly, can you please send me a message? Because I'm like, this is like working in the dark. So, okay, let's flip you guys around. So you all saw the drawing earlier. You can adjust this however you want. We are going to draw her full head and then we will add the crown on. So if you choose not to do the crown, you will have instruction without the crown in. I do that commonly when I'm adding hats to people, is I draw them the full thing and then I add the hat on. I don't like working around the hat. I like working around the head. So, you know, eyes can sometimes be a little bit weird, you know, face shape, just do your best. This is more about having fun. Oh, good. Thank you, Fiona. You can hear me and see comments. Okay, I can't see your comments, so thank God you guys can at least hear me. It's so weird when I don't have your feedback and information, so I appreciate those messages. So for her face, she has kind of a narrower chin, and this is something, even when I did the original drawing, I made her chin like too long and skinny. So just remember, you can always adjust. So you're just going to do a line coming down and then have it come in. And then about, you know, pick your width of the face. I don't want to make it too thick. She was quite a petite, small woman, right? For being such a powerhouse. And you can see me here just redoing my lines. And I already can tell you I'm going to do those more. I don't like the way it looks. I want her chin a little more pronounced than that. So what I just kind of do is I just kind of keep adjusting the lines. And then I'll erase the little, you could call them mistake lines. I just usually call them guidelines, sketch lines. I'm probably, if I was an actual art teacher, that's probably what they call them. I just definitely want her to have a chin, right? Some of us have like just more round faces. She had a more narrow face with a chin. So I'm going to call that good for now. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put her ears in. And I'm just kind of estimating, you know, you're giving room for, think of this. We figure her nose is going to be right about here. I know I'm making her look like a clown right now. Eyes about here. And I know you guys can barely see that, but see how I'm just doing this light pencil? You can kind of do that to like figure out, okay, if this is her eyes, then I want her ears about here, right? Because our glasses kind of sit on top. So I'm doing like, I always think of them as like the shape of a peanut. And to do the other side, I'm just going to come over. I'm going to have my pencil here where I started the ear and bring it onto this side. And then do that same peanut-like shape. And see, I've made that ear longer. And I kind of like it a little bit longer. So I'm going to extend that. Now, one big signature is to really have those earrings. So I'm just going to draw circles down here and give her earrings. And so when I do this in pen, you know, I'll take out all these lines. In fact, I'm even going to take this line out when I do it in pen, so her ears are more kind of connected. I always think sometimes when you're drawing people, sometimes you want that harsh line. Other times you actually want some like open flow. So since this is ear, now we can bring this up into the head. And I'm just going to bring it up, around. I want to kind of swoop down just a little bit and then come back up and around, which it's silly that I do that because that's all going to get covered by the crown. But I just want a little bit. If you do it without the crown, she does kind of do a little bit of a part here in her hair. So that's where that would naturally, like, you would see a little bit of dip. Now to do the hair, I am going to keep a little bit of this ear line here because the hair is going to build off of it. And I'm going to come up, and she really has just kind of a real straight off bang. So you'll kind of bring this straight across. And then when you get about the same spacing over here, you're going to come back down on this side. And if you feel like this isn't enough space for the hair, like you want the hair a little bit higher, you can always make adjustments to that now at this point. But that works for me. And I'm going to be putting, you know, that crown up here. So that's pretty good so far. I'm going to go ahead and erase this because all I'm seeing now is a clown. You guys probably can't even see that, but I just kind of gave myself guidelines for ear placement primarily. So now that I have the head on and the hair, I'm going to add that crown. So I just want it sitting kind of cockeyed off to the side. So I'm going to do a curved line that comes all the way across, just this slight curve. And then a line coming straight up, and a line coming straight up. You want those about the same size, so you can kind of just move your pencil back and forth, see if you need to extend one or the other. And then you want those crown like swoops. So I'm going to start by putting my jewels on the top right here. Kind of a circle right in the center. And I'm going to try to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. 1, 4, I think. So I'm going to start a little bit off to where this one goes into the circle and come up the highest, come up, and then come to this one. There we go. That works for me. And then on the top of each of these, I'm going to put another jewel. I want this one a little bit higher than I made it. And now I will go ahead and actually erase that headline that goes across. And you can see today, I didn't put the crown as far down on her head. Like here, it's a little further down. I kind of like this a little bit better, but I'm not going to worry about it too much. If you feel like your crown is too high, all you have to do, guys, is extend this line, which maybe I'll even do right now, and then just make the crown bigger. right? She can wear a big ass crown. And then you've totally fixed your problem. So if you did the same thing I did and you made that crown too high on her head, just adjust it. Look at that. Now I'll erase all this. And I like that better. I like it coming down on into her hair a bit. She deserves a big crown. Now, I want to put Notorious RBG. It's just something I really like. So I'm going to start with the letters, and I really want, well, with the R, the B, and the G, and I want those to fill a lot of the space here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the B first because I want that to kind of fall center. And this, if you made the same amount of crown spikes as I did, this is kind of your center. So I kind of want my B to fall in this space. And I'm just going to do this big B. Let's see how that looks with the other letters. So the R, I'm going to bring it pretty close to this side. Bring it in. So I did a line down, looped it around. I'll come out at an angle to almost the B, and then I'm going to start it from this side. I'm going to do a line in, straight up, and then make that R leg. It's kind of hard to teach the lettering. The lettering is kind of just something you have to play with a bit. The G, I will tell you, even when I did this earlier, I think I redid the G about 5 times. So I always start my G's with a letter C. I want that moved over just a little bit. And then I'm going to bring this leg up about halfway. And then I'm going to come in and make a rectangle. And then I'm going to come down up here and I'm going to create a curve that connects to that rectangle. Oh, that worked. There we go. And then, of course, you need to add your middle part of the letters here. Now, you could just do circles. I kind of liked staying with this like long, narrow shape. So I'm just doing a hot dog tip, a line, and then that long hot dog tip for the B. And then I'm going to do the same with the R. Now, notorious, it's a long word, guys. So you really just have to start putting it in, see how it fits, and then adjust it as needed if you're doing that on top. Because I do not do any sort of real, aside from like when I did this, I definitely mapped out my B and put that in the middle. When I'm just doing something like this, it's a little bit hard to do that. So I just start going for it. And then if I have to move letters over a smidge, I do it. But this one I think is going to work out maybe. And yeah, see, it's too cramped. So see how my words were really spread out, but then it started getting crampy? I don't like that. So I'm going to do it over. And then what I just know is if I make this O a smidge smaller, because I wasn't that far off, it'll work. So leave a little feint of your erase behind and use it as a guide. So now I've made that a little bit smaller. I'm moving everything over just a little bit to the left. And this is going to fit perfect. There we go. So that's the best way to do it. I mean, you could sit with a ruler and measure and then make little lines and have each word letters fit inside the lines. I think it's better at times to just go for it. Just start writing, and what's the worst that's going to happen? It's not going to fit, and then you're going to realize where you need to move the letters. So pretty simple. Now in the hair, we can worry about this more when we have the pen, but we're just kind of doing little dash lines. She always had that slicked back hair. So you're kind of going straight up with the hair, and then as you come to the sides, you're kind of curving out to the side. I'm still not 100% sure I like the shape of her face. I want it a little bit more narrow. This is what... I know I often talk about drawing with pen. I never, ever draw people with pen. So while, you might watch me draw with just pen and think, oh my gosh, how can she do that? When it comes to people, oh gosh, never in a million years. I have to draw them with pencil because I have to be able to make those like little tweaks and adjustments to their faces, to their eyes. I would never be brave enough. This is why I'm not one of those like cartoon sketch people who work at, the fair and whatnot. Okay, so next up, I'm going to do her glasses. So again, you imagine that the glasses, the arm of the glasses comes back here. So her glasses are going to kind of fall in this space. Okay, so what I would suggest doing is just taking and making yourself a line. Now, she's not wearing like 80s squared off glasses. I definitely want them to have like a swoop in the middle. So find your center of the face, and mine's like right about here. And I'm just going to, sorry, I know I cut out there for a second. Cut it down and back up. And then you'll erase that line. And this side, I'm going to curve. I'm going to go ahead and actually make the width of this, like the bar, the nose bar. Because that'll help me determine the shape of the glasses and the size of the glasses. And I know this looks a little squared. I'm going to actually end up rounding this off a little bit more, but I like doing that line there just to give a guideline of where the glasses should start. Now, one other little tip here is sometimes what scares the most with people when they're drawing when they're drawing people, sometimes what scares people when they're drawing people is eyes and hands. Okay, we're not doing hands, so you get a free pass on that. No hands. But we are doing eyes. But you guys, you could just do, I see so much of this, especially in a lot of the computer illustrations you see now, where there won't be eyes. And I know you guys have all seen it, where you will just have more of like a silhouette. Sorry, excuse me. I'm going to take a sip of water. But you'll just have like the outline enough to where when you saw it, you'd know who it was. You do want to finish the glasses off. So you're kind of just doing that, you know, kind of thinner frame. Creating your line that follows the shape of the glasses. So you have your frame and you have your lens. And don't worry too much on this if the line is a little bit wonky, because when you go in with your pen, you can always make that adjustment. But see, you could do this with a nose and a mouth and call it good and not worry about the eyes. You really do see that a lot in illustration. There's a lot of people who are doing these now and they're just not adding like all of those details. And it's probably because they don't like drawing them. So I'm going to put eyebrows above. She had very thin eyebrows. Now, one eyebrow, she almost always kind of had an arch in. So I'm going to do one that just kind of follows above. Comes down to a point. And then on this side, you can just bring that up a little bit more and down. And just give that little bit of raised eyebrow. If you don't like the way that looks, you don't have to do it. I didn't do it in the other version. I realized after that I kind of left that part off, but you really did see this kind of like crook in her eyebrow a lot. Okay, we're gonna save the eyes for last, guys. I'm gonna do just a little detail in the ear, just like a little line there. Then more curved. So I'm just almost making like a letter T, just putting like a little curve and then a little curve down. Now the nose, we're going to start, it's a very simple nose. We're going to do a line right here. Just a line at an angle, kind of angling out. And then the nose is going to come down a little bit. You're like, part of this top, if we made a line, these would connect. So you want that, you know, you don't want this way far down here. You want it kind of lined up with this line, like this is like the bridge of her nose. And we can always move this, you know, if it's too far to the right. But I'm doing a line down, coming over, coming down, almost kind of pointy, back up, and then up. Move that over just a smidge. There we go. And I'm going to move this just a bit to the left. There we go. I like that better. And there you have the nose. Pretty simple. It's really weird not seeing your guys' comments. It feels so quiet. It feels so quiet. Thank goodness we didn't do any sort of like trivia or anything like that. I had all these ideas, and then it's funny because then I thought, No, I just want to draw. I just want to draw her. And I guess this is the world telling me, yep, you made the right choice. We're just drawing her. Okay, I don't want to do too many lines on her face. I am going to give her like a couple. So I want lines on each side for like her cheeks. So I'm just doing a slight curve. And again, these are all things I might adjust once I get the rest on. I want more cheek lines right here, going the opposite way, because this gives that like thinness to her face. Again, she was like a very petite, small woman. So you kind of give that like little sink in on the sides of the cheeks. I want these even. I can already tell that one's a little longer. Remember, if you have two lines like this and you need them even, just erase across. And then you even them up. And then for the lips, we're just doing a small heart shape. She didn't have like super thick lips, but she didn't have completely thin lips either. And I'm just keeping a pretty straight mouth, not a big smile. If you want to adjust that and you want to give her a smile, you can do that. I wouldn't say she's frowning, but she doesn't have like a smile. And then I'm just going to do that lower lip curve and a line to connect. And then I'm going to do a line for the chin right here. And here I go again. I'm going to adjust her chin. I want it a little bit more rounded. I struggled the most with her chin earlier too. I just couldn't let go. And sometimes you have to. Sometimes you just have to say, it's fine, move on. Okay, for the body, we're gonna do a line down on each side for her neck. We will go back and give her eyes, guys, I promise. She's looking like she's wearing sunglasses right now. And then we're going to curve her neck out. And I'm just doing kind of a broad shoulder. Not that she had a broad shoulder, but that those coats that they wear often give them kind of a more broad look. Now I'm going to do a curve right here at her neck. And I'm going to do another band here. There were a lot of different like neck pieces that she had. I'm kind of doing a play off of kind of two different designs that I saw. So I'm going to give this like trim here with circles in it because I think it goes well with the crown. It kind of gives that like embellished mint look. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, just making that even. Now I'm going to do another circle shape right here. For the other part of her neck piece. I'm really struggling with how that is going off the page. And I want this like woven look. So what I did here, I'm just using this as a guide. Now you can keep this and you can decorate it. You can make it more lacy, however you like, whatever really like, again, works for you. So what I did is I made curved V's. Okay, so I'm going to do one right in the middle. Let me do that again. My reason for having this line is I really want all of these shapes to be the same length. And I know if I didn't have some sort of guideline, they would be like all over the map. So it is helping me by having this line, because then I can keep these all consistent. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to create another one, and I'm going to cross over inside of this shape a little over halfway and make another. And then I'm going to come a little over halfway here and make another. A little over halfway here and make another. A little over halfway and make another. Okay. Then I'm going to come on this side and do the same thing. Little over halfway. These aren't going to touch. A little over halfway. And then you end up with kind of these V's like up here along the neck. Hi, Ben. I just saw your comment. Welcome. And then I'm going to do one more right here. So this side we're seeing a little bit more. And then you end up with this kind of lacy pattern. And so what I'm going to do when I color is I'm going to actually take this out. I don't need to do it now. I can do it after I do the pen outline. And I'm going to leave this white and do this black. I'm going to color this black with yellow like it's gems, because I'm making her a queen, guys. Okay, eyes. Oh gosh, here we go. It's also my least favorite thing to draw. It's just a very almond shape eye. So you're going to do a curve up at the top and then a curve down at the bottom. And then you just have to kind of decide, like what I usually do is I put both eyes in, I let it go, even if I hate my first eye. And then I look and I see, okay, I want to move this one in a little bit more because I've put them too far apart. And sometimes with eyes, you have to erase the original and then do your redo. She's going to have a line up above the eye, just kind of a face line. I'm not giving her lashes or anything. You never really saw her with like a lash, a real distinctive lash. And then inside the eye, I'm going to do a circle, a curve right here, and a curve right here. This eye is a lot bigger than the other, so I need to take that down. I can tell. Sometimes you can't tell when you're actually like drawing the eye, and then when you start adding the inside part, you're like, whoa, that half circle is way bigger than on the other side. So then you just cut the eye down, just slim it down. And then I'm just doing circles right in between. For the pupil, and I'll leave a little circle of light in there. And I'll refine this a bit when I go in with the pen. So let's get moving on that. So hopefully everybody's doing all right. I'm kind of sorry, though, I at least can't see your comments, even if we weren't going to have trivia and whatnot, because I do, you know, if you want to ask me questions or something, it's nice to be able to interact with you. I've gotten a couple direct messages from friends, at least letting me know you guys can hear me. That's the most important part. And definitely share your artwork. Again, I know that drawing people, you guys, it's tough. I mean, this is not like a perfect drawing of her, but it's enough that anybody who saw it would know. I actually like my one from earlier better. I had this conversation with a friend earlier, and I was telling him that sometimes my second draw, so my draw I do with you guys, is harder than my first draw. And I don't know if it's because I'm more relaxed when I'm doing the first draw, or if it also just has to do with the fact that I'm like teaching you on the second draw. So it makes me tense. So I'm also not as relaxed because I'm like, oh my God, I have to do this. And I feel like I'm messing up. But to be honest, when I'm drawing with you guys, I don't think about that a lot. I just draw. I just, you know, hopefully give you some little tips and some tricks and make you feel more comfortable. I mean, I think if I was some like perfect like artist, I don't know if as many people would draw with me. I feel like I create the kind of art that someone looks and says, I could do that, especially when it comes to people. But I know we did this with like the Golden Girls, and some people felt like, you know, their Golden Girls look like a drag queen or whatever, you know. We all, again, are our own worst critics when it comes to art. And art is really just about having fun, using a different area of your brain, coming here and doing something with other people, whether you know them or not. I will say, I can see like your hearts and your thumbs up and stuff like that. So if you want to interact with me that way, that's cool. Just don't frown me. I remember when I first started drawing, the kids would frown me a lot. And, oh God, I would get kind of upset about it. Like, oh, they don't like me. And then I really realized that what it was is if they were having problems with their internet, they were frowning, right? So it wasn't me, but oh God, I used to get so sad. Like, why are they all frowning me? Why don't these kids like me? That just goes to show how much we're all like tied to likes and all that. Okay, I have someone requesting to join the group, so I'm going to give you just a moment of pause and let this person in. Okay, there we go. That was quick. She's really kind of fun to draw because, you know, She really is kind of a character. She typically did have this very serious look on her face. I mean, I definitely have seen her smile, especially in pictures when people would visit her. And but she definitely has just kind of that character to her that makes her kind of fun to draw. There's certain people who are just fun to draw because in some ways they look like a character. They look like an animation almost. I don't know how else to say it. I have friends who I've just drawn, people I've met, and then I draw them because I'm like, you just need to be drawn. And that was kind of how I started playing around with drawing people, was just by drawing people who were interesting to me for whatever reason. And then I'm going to go ahead and just color in these glasses. Hopefully everybody's doing good. Hopefully nobody's getting too stuck on like eyes or something weird like that. I know when I drew her earlier today, I was like obsessed over the chin. I think I drew the chin again like 5 times. And then I was cool with the eyes, but this piece, whew, I drew it 3 different ways. At one point, I almost just gave up and was just going to do like a kind of frilly looking bottom and leave it. But I was determined to figure out how to make that kind of crisscross looking pattern. And that is also why I always draw people in pencil first, because I'm just not confident enough. Okay. Making the eyes a little bit smaller than I did originally. Okay, I like that better. And then I have that line here, which is just kind of like an eyelid line, right? When our eyes are open, we all have kind of that crease most of the time. I'm just going to leave the tiniest bit of light in that corner. I'm going to do the same over here. And then the hair. I'm going to color this in so you won't see these as much, but it just gives some little hairlines. Gives detail because you'll see that through the pencil. So make as many or as few as you like. Lastly, let's tackle this neck. I'm going to rip this out. This is also my last page. What What an also kind of cool thing. Going out with a bang on this notepad. Now tackle these little things. Sometimes I feel like you kind of just have to rip the page out, otherwise you end up doing your hand in a weird position. Now let's come from this side. And I'm not going directly over my pencil lines here because I shifted those a little bit. There we go. I am going to tons are commenting. You can see and hear me. Thank you, Ruth. It's so silent on my side. It's so sad. I can't even see the comments on. I'm like, so when I do these drawings, guys, you know, I'm on my phone. That's where I'm recording them on. And then I also keep the website open on my computer. So that way, you know, I have had those weird moments where I can't see comments and yet I can see them on the computer. I can't see them anywhere. They're not on the computer. Hopefully I can go back after and I can see the comments because it feels a little bit sad not having the comments. Oh, I just took out her little ear detail. I'll add that back in. So let's erase all of this. I made a smudge on my paper. I think I'm going to color in my drawing from earlier since I've already scanned it to you. I guess the one beauty about drawing twice is, you know, if you don't like your second one, I've got a first one as a backup plan. I made her a little bit larger this time. I like how much petiter she looks in my previous drawing. I do like the crown a lot better though here. You know, there's always something, right? We're always going to have something we're not happy with. There's your drawing. Now I'm going to swap. Let's come back to this guy. I like this one. Okay. So now for the coloring, I'm going to do the little jewels and the lettering kind of a golden orange. And then I'll do the crown yellow. I'm also going to do this, a golden orange, and tie it in. I know that's not normally what her thing looks like, but as an artist, I can do my own thing a little bit. And again, I kind of just want this like look of a queen. I appreciate so much everybody who was excited for this drawing. I mean, we're not drawing it under great circumstances. Would have nice to give a tribute while she was still alive. I try to keep this group I try to keep politics out of the group because I've asked everybody else to do that. But there are times when we just have to acknowledge something that is going on. We did that with the crayon drawing, and we are doing it now. So I think that's important. And I truly believe that no matter what political lines you stand on, this was a loss of a human who, especially for women, did a lot. So that's it. I'm going to leave it at that, or I'm going to start crying. All right, let's find a good kind of goldish yellow. This one will work. Oh, and of course. I swear every color now just breaks on me while I'm coloring with it. Okay. Now I kind of want to do, though, more coloring pages of other important figures. Current and past. And this was perfect for a sip and draw. I mean, this is definitely not something I'm going to teach during the week with the kids for many reasons too, because it's just hard to teach kids people. You know, there's such a wide age range drawing with me, and this is a lot to take on for like a 5-year-old. It would be a lot to take on even for my 10-year-old. But that's where those coloring pages, I think, come in handy. I'm actually really glad I started doing that. Oh, a very exciting, kind of fun and little piece of info. I don't know if it's an announcement, but many of you saw that mailbox, that old, or not mailbox, newspaper box, that old newspaper box that I got. And I'm turning it into, I was going to turn it into a public library in front of my house. And I decided instead to turn it into a free art, like an art swap box. Thinking, you know, everybody I know as a parent, for myself or even for my kid, I'll buy art things all the time and then they don't get used, like coloring books, and one page is colored. So I thought, what a cool way to have this local art box. Greenhaven Place, which is one of the elder facilities that we've been donating all of our drawings to. So when you guys send me drawings, that's where they've been going. You've seen some of them get posted, pictures with their residents. And then I also donate all of my drawings. So when I draw, you know, I draw most everything twice. And I send one of my drawings over there. And so they donated. I'm going to show you guys because this is so great. They donated probably 50 of these kits, and it has some coloring pages inside, like 4 or 5 coloring pages, and then art supplies. And I'm going to get to put these inside of that box for local people to come pick up, local kids. So very, very cool. I'm very, very excited about that. That was super awesome of them. And they've actually said that they would like to continue to fill it. So when it's empty, when all of those supplies have been taken, they will come and bring more. Okay, I'm doing the eyes kind of a gray blue. They kind of have that gray blue look to them. So if you live in West Sac and you either want some art for your kids and some art supplies, or you just want to help out and put stuff in the box, I'm hoping it will be up and running very soon. In October for sure. I still have a lot of work to do on it, but my goal is to get it up and running by October. I really hope I can go on and see your comments tonight. Because right now I can't. It's literally like, it's so quiet on my side. It's funny how it's always just my voice. I can't hear you guys. But it's amazing how just seeing those comments, you guys are there. Like it really gives like that feeling like I'm not just by myself. And even though I see like 48 people on still, I'm like, I feel very much by myself right now. I'm so lonely. No, it's not too bad. I have some music going too, which you guys probably can't even tell. I try to keep it pretty quiet, so that way I don't get kicked off of YouTube when I post it. Just doing kind of a deeper flush tone on the lips. Hopefully you guys are all doing good. I know I've had a couple little weird connection issues tonight, but hopefully it's not too bad. I'm jiggling my camera now. Well, let it focus again. Okay, there we go. Maybe some of you guys have your kids with you tonight and they're doing the coloring page. I know I did that a little bit different. If you guys like that, I hope I can go back and see comments after the fact. But if you guys like that part, especially on sip and draws, I don't know why I always made the drawing a surprise. But if you would rather have a coloring page in advance that your kids can sit and color with you, I know the intention of the sip and draw was always, it was a time for the adults, but my kid doesn't go to bed at 8. So hopefully some of you are getting a break right now and you're doing this alone, but if you'd like those early so they can do it along with you and just color, I can definitely do that. Especially since I'm always doing the drawing. I'm never coloring it in advance now, which still makes me laugh because that was such a well, it wasn't a mistake the first time it happened, but it was the day I did do the crayon art on the building, and I was so tired, and it took everything I had just to like come on and draw for you guys, and I pre-drew the drawing, but I didn't have time to color it, and I felt so bad. And then that was when the coloring pages were born, and I think people really do like it. I know sometimes I get really bad about uploading them, and then someone will send me a message like, hey, can you upload that for me? I've been better at it this week. It takes me a while for things to become a routine. Whenever I do like face lines, I usually take whatever color I'm coloring with and just kind of make those stand out a little bit. And then now I'm just going to take this black and sharpen it a bit, even though it's probably going to break on me. And I'm going to color black in here. So I'm going to leave that white collar. I want that white woven collar. And this doesn't have to have, when you're doing, I mean, if you want to color all the way down and do the whole robe, oh boy, you have fun with that. I'm not. I'm just coloring a little bit beyond each of these little woven pieces. I like this even more colored in. That's often the case with people drawings. People drawings are kind of one of those things that just needs color. I'm also going to, if I can find it quickly, I keep putting it away. I'm going to use my blender pencil a little bit in this black just to make it more solid so I'm not getting that white in between, and it'll kind of fade out the base. Turn this. I've already signed this one. Always sign your art. I always tell the kids that too. I mean, with the kids, we always write our names and ages and where we're from. But with the adults, you should always make sure you're signing your artwork. Because even if you think, I don't want anyone to know this is mine, remember, be proud of your art. Be proud that you did it. I mean, there's people who would never even try. And any thoughts you have about it are probably just in your own head. Okay, let me see if I can find it. Yep, it's right there. So I'm just going to come in with this. I've got a little bit of color on it. There we go. And this will just make that black solid. You will see. The blender pencil is really great for blending two colors. It is super great for blending out your black and making your black look more solid. Because that's definitely one of, the complaints with people when they're using colored pencils, especially like, I just don't like all the white, because you're always going to have some white within your colors. This helps. I mean, you could go through and blender pencil the whole thing, but I especially like it on the black. And you can see, I can see, because I can see my video on my computer. Like, look how much darker that looks than over here. Like, you go from like what looks like black, and then once you start adding blender pencil, you're like, oh, that kind of looked a little more gray than black. And then you can just kind of blend out these ends, make it go to like a little lighter, foggy. Just one thing to remember, especially when you're doing a blender pencil on black, do not swipe your paper. I have all this stuff all over my paper. Don't swipe it. If you swipe it, you're going to smear. That's all pigment that's coming off. So don't swipe. Instead, blow. Blow the dust away. And if anyone is just being introduced to these for the first time, if you use colored pencils, you can get these on Amazon or anywhere you get craft supplies. And they're called colorless blenders. They work with any pencil, so I always buy the Prismacolor ones. It works on top of really pretty much any pencil that you use. It works great if you're trying to make anything ombre. I think they're maybe $5, but it comes in a set of 2 or 3. I can't remember. They last a long time. That's why I can't remember. I mean, I bought a set right when group started, and you can see the length of this one, and I haven't even touched the other one yet. They're harder than a normal pencil. So they tend to last a bit longer than a normal pencil. I'm going to take that in. This has a little bit of black on it, and I'm going to use it just to darken up her hair a bit, add a little bit of other color into her hair. And see, I'm just picking up, I don't know if you can see that on camera, but I'm picking up black from her coat, and then I'm just dropping it in on her hair. And there we go. We're all finished. So thank you very much for joining me, you guys. This was a pretty quick drawing tonight. I'm really sorry I couldn't see your comments at all. I wish I could have interacted with you a little bit more. It is what it is. I kind of just have to work with whatever the internet provides me. Please share your art. You can post it directly onto the group, or you can post it into an album, or you can share it on Instagram. Whichever you prefer. I love seeing your artwork. As always, this is always a free event. I do have a suggested $5 donation. I will post a link to that right after this. So if you're able, it's much appreciated. Helps me buy my supplies and whatnot. And I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you for sharing this special drawing with me. Go RBG. Yay! Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Happy drawing.